All right, Pops. Men in Black, chip shortage increasing, new data to share.
Yes.
I think that was a haiku.
Are you Tommy Lee Jones? And am I the Fresh Prince? What's his name?
The past 2 weeks of the Fresh Prince. You are from Philly.
Yeah.
The past 2 weeks of moderating production cuts were reversed as North American plants added another 78,000 vehicles to their running tally of scheduled reduction. That's the byline. The lead is obviously the latest numbers on the microchip shortage.
Yes.
We're not out of the woods yet, Pops.
I don't even think we're halfway through the woods, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Based on the ever-increasing numbers of lost production, where when we started, it was like, maybe internationally they're going to lose 1.5 million or so vehicles to production. Well, the latest numbers are trending towards 6.3 million vehicles lost to production this year. Internationally.
And let's put it into perspective here. At least in the United States, it's expected to be potentially around
2 million.
Yeah, in North America, but primarily the United States.
Yeah.
Typically, or in years prior to COVID, there were 12 to 16 million new vehicles sold. I know that's a big range, but it was trending up.
It was anywhere from I think the low was around 13.5 million during the Great Recession. And the high was about 16.5 or 17 million a year or so ago.
So we're talking about 2 million projected, which, again, like you said, when we started doing coverage on this back in, January?
It might have been as early as
December. The projections were 200,000, 300,000, 400,000.
Yeah.
We're up to 2 million.
Yeah, just in this country, yes.
Just in this country. And
just
that is
North America, yes.
That is, I don't know,
that's
1/8.
Sizable, yes.
Which is 12.5%. I'm just flexing my math muscles
right now. Look at you.
That's a lot of vehicles. That's a non-insignificant amount.
Yeah, what has somebody said? It's about $110 to $115 billion in lost revenue. But other than that, it's not a big number.
And so we're seeing the effects of the chip shortage across all of the different OEMs. At least originally, it was primarily focused on our dear friends over at Ford, GM, Stellantis. But everyone's in on this party. Everyone is struggling to produce vehicles.
Yes, and as we have been saying for the last 7 or 8 months, it's not the type of situation that can be reversed overnight.
Well, there is one thing that could happen overnight.
People could stop just buying cars altogether.
Ford, for example, is thinking of actually shipping incomplete vehicles to dealership lots to then have the dealers put in the chips once they're finally ready.
Yes.
That's something that could change overnight. You could see, when you're driving past your local Ford dealership, way more inventory. You can't actually buy it.
You could see hundreds of vehicles that you can't buy. Yes.
I know we posted on the YAA Community forum about this, and you had a hilarious post.
Yeah.
Your 2 cents is that's just going to piss everyone off.
It is. It's going to piss off the salespeople. It's going to piss off the customers. Well, I can see it. I can touch it. I can sit in it. You're telling me I can't buy it? Well, it's not complete. And every salesperson in America wants to spend their time wandering around the lot with people to show them cars that they can't buy. Yeah, no, really. That leads to instant gratification in a heartbeat.
For everyone involved.
Yeah.
So we have an increasing number of vehicles that are being lost to production due to the chip shortage, and we have vehicles that are being produced to 98% completion but can't make it across the finish line because they're missing the chips, that are now sitting in fields, have been sitting in fields at racetracks, etc. And eventually
we'll continue to be sitting in all those places.
And eventually we're going to have a glut. Or we already do have a glut of incomplete inventory, and the implications for the industry are unknown.
Here's something scary. There is probably more incomplete inventory waiting to be completed than there's actual inventory on dealer lots waiting to be sold.
Watch our other video on market day supply for the month of July, and if you want to know what the day supply of inventory is for a particular vehicle, you're interested in buying it, join YAA.com, run a free market price report. You can see what the day supply of inventory is in your area, and also how long that vehicle's been on the dealer's lot. But that market day supply video we did, there was some outstanding data in there. For example, Toyota at like a 15 or 17 day market day supply when they're typically at 45, 60.
Yeah. Subaru at 8. I mean, come on.
So you're right. There probably is a greater day's supply of inventory that's incomplete now.
Sitting that can't be shipped or won't be shipped or can't be sold.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Do you think in 2022, once all of these chips are in place for all these 2021 vehicles, are we going to have the great influx of 2021 inventory and the deals galore? When I'm even thinking when 2023 model year vehicles are coming out next year, is it going to be...
And those new 2021s are still trickling in?
Exactly. Is it going to be the great 2021 savings extravaganza in end of 2022, beginning of 2023?
It could. I mean, I would imagine that Ford and GM and Stellantis and all the others will do everything they can to get these cars completed and into dealership inventory, probably no later than the first quarter of next year, at the absolute latest.
How do you prioritize? Imagine being a fly on the wall in those meetings. How do you prioritize? We've got all of these vehicles sitting that are going to be the prior model year now. Do we put the chips in the new ones, or do we put the chips in the ones in the field?
I'm not sure how they prioritize. I know that I read that Ford is offering people Ford Motor Company, not the dealers, but the dealer will help the customer apply this, $1,000 rebate, additional rebate, if they were to order their new truck or vehicle and be patient enough to wait for it. And for waiting, they'll get an extra $1,000 for having done so.
When incentives increase for the consumer, or the OEM's more willing to put forward incentives when they have pressure to sell inventory, right?
Yes.
When they need to get off that inventory. Incentives, as we've seen very recently, go away when there's no real incentive for them to be subsidizing the purchase of their vehicles. I think in the not too distant future, but when I say that, at least 6 months out, there's going to be immense pressure on the OEMs to move inventory, and I think we're going to see, not necessarily from the dealer, but from the manufacturers, big incentives on these prior model year vehicles.
What the dealers will do then is they will rescind their adjusted dealer markup numbers.
Yeah, they'll get rid of that.
Yeah, they'll get rid of it. So instead of it being $2,500 or $5,000 in additional dealer markup, they'll get rid of that. And then they'll offer you whatever the rebate is from the manufacturer. And in essence, they will still be getting MSRP for the vehicle they're selling you.
The dealership,
the dealership will, which means they will be making much larger profits, continue to make much larger profits on new car sales than they ever have.
But I think from the consumer perspective,
that's actually savings.
That's actually fine, because the OEM's going to be the one that's going to end up eating this.
Well, the OEM's are the one that's going to pay for it.
Eating this, paying for it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like a nice meal.
But I genuinely would not be surprised if we end up seeing some of the most insane incentives to move prior model year 20. Imagine. I mean, why wouldn't you if you're a Ford Motor Company and you've got 100,000 vehicles that have been sitting around, your dealer groups, your dealer bodies are going to be like, I don't want that. I want the new ones.
Yeah.
But you still got to sell them.
Yeah.
There's going to be big incentives. You heard it here first.
Okay. Well, we'll check back with you in 6 months to see if yet another one of our predictions is completely wrong.
But the benefit of doing predictions that have a long time horizon.
Yeah, we won't look stupid for another 6 months. Although, if you look at us closely, we'll look stupid in every video. At least I will.
Link to the data down below. Join YAA.com and also join the YAA community at joinyaa.com. I like how we did that.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what we did, but I like it.
Name the website Join YAA.
Join YAA. Yeah, it makes it easier.
Thanks, Pops.
Even I can remember that one.